Hello and welcome to the Women's Rugby Pod, episode 160. I'm Sadia Kabeya.
And I'm Johnny Hammond, and a bumper show for you again this week as a culmination of wXV 2 and 3. There's promotion and relegation to be sorted out. And we'll look back at wXV 1 as well. But first of all, Sadia, how are you? How's your week? Training ramping up?
Training is ramping up slightly. I did some jumping this week, which, any little thing is fun. But just been the same, rehab, conditioning, gym. But it's nice to get into a routine now.
Good stuff. The big question is, you said you were going to set your alarm for the England game. Did that alarm do its business?
I definitely set it, but I didn't get up, no. I watched it back on live TV.
Well, let's get into wXV 1, 2, and 3. This first part, we're going to look back at last weekend's results. Then we've got a little bit of news from around the world for you. And then into the part 2, we will look ahead to this weekend's wXV fixtures. So, results from round 1 of wXV1. Gets confusing, doesn't it? England 42, Australia 7. Some ill discipline from Australia, a couple of yellows and a red. On Saturday, Canada beat Wales 42-22. Superwoman Sophie de Goody to the fore. Again, there's nothing she can't do. It's quite extraordinary. And New Zealand faced up against France in a tremendous game. France won 17 points to 18. The Black Ferns got a red card in there as well. We'll look back at that in a second. But let's start with the Red Roses. What did you make of that performance, Sadia?
I thought it was an all-round good performance. I think there was a lot of positives to take away from it. I think we're definitely not at the point where we're perfect or, at our best game, but we had a different squad. It was our first game out there, obviously dusting off the cobwebs a bit. But I think the team came together well and we got a decent score, but obviously our standards are very high. So definitely a lot more to build on. But I think for a first, performance out on the field, I think it was very good.
What will Lewis Deacon, Sarah Hunter, Lou Meadows, and indeed John Mitchell, who's now in a big long coat in the coaching box after his duties with Japan at the Men's World Cup. What were they particularly enjoyed watching?
I think probably I'll go forward and attack. I think the centre partnership really worked this weekend. Seeing Meg Jones out there being, in full flow. Other backs stepping up as well, and obviously the forwards being very, very keen to get on the ball. So I think from our attacking point of view, I think they'll be very happy with that. I mean, we're trying to create a more free-flowing game of rugby. So yeah, I think they'll be very happy with that, and also with our accuracy around set piece too.
That's obviously a conscious thing. So when you first came in after the World Cup and the change of coaches and what have you, how did the decision come around to slightly change the way you play and then play a slightly more open game? How did that come about in the Red Roses camp?
It's definitely a coach's decision, and I think a lot of it's come from Mitch. But obviously we've had a new cycle of coaching, team in, and for the previous coaching we had, it's been a long time, and our attacking structure and defensive structure has been the same for a long time. So I think sticking with the theme of a new cycle, it was only right to kind of change our the way we play, and I think it's definitely paying off. And obviously looking to 2025, we want by the time we get there it to be like set in stone. So.
And what areas will they require a little bit more polish come this weekend?
Yeah, I think obviously the score shows 42-7, only one score to Australia, but we always hold our defence to the highest standards. And I think there was a few times where there was line breaks from Australia where they actually looked, good in the loose, and I think we allowed them to look good in those areas. So I think just tightening up in our defence. I think mainly it was us getting a bit short and they're making breaks on the edges. But I think that will be our focus going into Canada and New Zealand now, because those are the teams that know where to find those spaces, even if we don't give it to them. So I think, yeah, our focus will be tightening up on defence a bit more.
It's amazing that you brought up defence and tackling with you sat back here in the UK.
Yeah.
That's yeah, something I can do for you.
Yeah, fly me out. I'll be there.
I like it. No, it's a good subtle way of doing that. No, I thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, and I think obviously, and we will get into this weekend later on in part 2, as we say, but obviously they're trying out selection and different combinations and what have you, and that isn't always the easiest when you start to get a rhythm with people and play often with them. Those little defensive, tiny little details are almost instinctive, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And quite a lot of the combinations we had were quite new. There was towards the end of the game, it was quite a young team, especially in the back line on the pitch. So it's hard, obviously, when you don't have that relationship, like you were saying. But yeah, it's always good to try those out. But I think going forward, we'll probably see a bit more of combinations that are more experienced in playing together.
In terms of individuals, who particularly impressed you? Is that a slightly unfair question, saying as your teammates?
No. I think I'd probably say Meg Jones. I think I always enjoy watching Meg play, and I think she's when she was in the England setup for the 15s a while ago, she hadn't really found her feet yet, and she was trying to fit her style into the way we were playing, and it wasn't maybe so working. So to see her playing and still being able to play with her own style this weekend, and put people in space and being on people's shoulders, I think she really impressed me. And she's always someone who brings a bit of pace, a bit of light to the team. So yeah, I think she was one of those people who really impressed me as well. And I always enjoy seeing Sadia and her play. And a special shout out to Alex Matthews too. Obviously coming back from concussion, but she's one of those people who just carry hard and always get gain line. So she really impressed me as well, always being on that front foot.
Sorry to bore you with a story, but I remember being at a training session at Guildford Surrey Sports Park and chatting with Gary Street, who yet again, sending our best wishes to you, Gary, and Flip and the boys. All the best with your recovery, pal. I should be in to see you very soon. Alex was, I think, 15, 16. Gary said she is really, really special. She is going to win an absolute bucketful of caps. And there you are. He is true. She is just quietly goes about her business in an incredibly effective way, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely. And quietly is the key word. She's someone who just gets on with it, does all her stuff behind the scenes. If she needs to know something more, she'll be doing her looking over her notes and stuff. And then when she gets on the pitch, she always puts out a good performance. So
I was going to go into selection, but we'll do that in part 2, just to give you some more details. What bottom of the sky, Vivas Miley Packer with a couple, Breach and Meg Jones, Masters with the try for the Wallaroos, and Gareth Dallinger with their conversion. Looked like she got a nasty injury, and we wish her all the best, because they needed a 10, haven't they, for a while, Australia, and they seem to have found this young 10, whether from New Zealand or not, but she's chosen the Wallaroos. What did you make of Australia?
I think they'll be disappointed with their performance, but I think there was definitely moments of promise, like I said, when they were able to get the ball wide, and they made quite a few line breaks. And I think for them, it's just finishing those off or keeping ball. Because there was definitely times where I was on the edge of my seat thinking, oh, they're definitely going to score here, or they've got us on the back foot now. I think there's a lot of stuff around discipline that needs to be sorted out in the camp, which is obviously clear from the cards. But I think there's a lot of promise, but I think there's a team who needs to tighten up around the key areas. Probably strip it back a bit more to the basics.
It was an issue during the World Cup as well, discipline
Hmm.
for the Wallaroos. So how do you work on that? Look, you play open side. You're right on the edge, and as you've already noted to everyone that they missed that tackling prowess at the weekend. But no, you're right on the edge, and in certain circumstances, coach can say that's fine, give that penalty away. But as a squad, how do you train to be more disciplined?
I think it's just you train how you want to play. I know within our camp we have a lot of. Oh, hello, sorry. We have a lot of sorry, dog.
The dog's in. We're puppies.
The dog is in.
Willow's here today. Lovely. Hi, Willow.
We have a lot of consequences in training around, if you do go high, if you do knock a ball on, there is consequences. There's burpees on the sideline. There's missing out on the next rep, and getting that in your head. You need to train how you play. So I think if in training, then letting that slip, letting like I don't know, little arms around the neck or around the shoulder, just go for their heads. You're never going to get any better at it. So I think the only way to train that discipline is by doing it in training and living and breathing that.
Do you have referees and that kind of stuff, or is that called by coaches? They are uber hot, so you're possibly even a sort of couple of millimeters behind that line, so that on a game day when the rush of the ball is happening, those 2 millimeters, you're still okay on that. For example, that offside line.
Definitely a bit extra, and there's sometimes people are like, "No, I wasn't offside," but if you're being that much behind the offside line in training, then you're going to be onside in the game. So it's those little 1%ers.
So take note, boys and girls out there. Sometimes coaches at training sessions will be a little bit more harsh, because then on game day it's going to be a lot better. You've heard it from the very, very top. Let's move on to those Saturday results. Canada 42, Wales 22. Talk about Canada spending time together. They get better and better and better. That's a proper result from a team, as you say, haven't had a huge amount of time. Those two sort of warm-up games against England, but Wales fully professional now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not. I did not expect as big of a score as that. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a tighter game, but I think in that second half, Canada just ran away with it. But yeah, like I said last week, the more Canada spend time together, the better they get, and it is really frightening, but really exciting to see where they can go. But they looked like a really tight-knit team when they played against Wales last week.
Yeah, it was a fantastic second half from Canada, wasn't it? I mean, she plays in the back row, and you played against, I suspect, Sophie de Goede, whether that be for Loughborough against Saracens or England Canada. How special a talent is she?
Yeah, I mean, she is that person who can do everything. I mean, she's their goal kicker, she's their captain, she's also a forward. She's a forward in a back's body. No, a back and a forward's body, I think. So she's got all the tricks, up her sleeve. And I think there's no rugby player who can really not say how good of a player is. She's definitely always on teams' radars when they're doing an analysis of who to watch out for. But the things you can't really analyze her enough, because you never know what she's going to do. So yeah, I think a lot of teams go into playing Canada trying to shut her down, and Wales wasn't able to do that. So she was really able to lead from the front.
What will frustrate Wales and young Cunningham the most about their performance? Because there was some neat little bits. Gareth Phillips, I quite like that cheeky little try with Alicia Butchers there.
Yeah, because I think there was moments of promise for them as well, but I think they might have got stuck in. They were just a bit stuck, it looks like sometimes. Not really sure what was going on, what was next. Maybe the leaders on the team weren't stepping up as much as they needed to, or there might have been breakdown in communication, but it just seemed like there was times on the pitch where maybe they needed to kick, they needed to exit, or they were stuck in the same place, and it just there wasn't a next step. So I think that's probably where they'll be frustrated around from watching it. So when there's a breakdown in communication on the pitch, even though like you said, from those set piece tries, when it seems like everyone's on the same page, is when they performed at their best and they strive at their best bits of rugby. So maybe yeah, that would be their biggest takeaway.
What I like about Canada is clearly plenty was said at half time, and they played that territory game at the beginning of the second half and quickened up their ruck speed. That ability to change within a game, related back to the men's World Cup at the moment, but that ability to change on the hoof is not an easy thing to do. And Canada are a very, very bright side. You played alongside quite a few of these ladies at Loughborough. They're smart outfit as well.
Yeah, definitely, and they're all quite natural athletes as well. So that part of like the fitness and the engine, they all really have. So all they really have to do is build on their rugby knowledge and that rugby side as well. Obviously, I play with Sarah Spoda, and she's been going really well for Canada at the moment. A really quick thinking back row, really good in attack, and she's a nuisance around the breakdown as well. So yeah, they've got definitely what they need, and actually, like you said, they've really been coming together.
Why don't Wales play Craigie George at 10?
Couldn't tell you. I mean, her performances in the Prem week in week out, I would say you would say she deserves to be in that 10 shirt, and I think her control from 10 probably brings that control that Wales need at the moment, and the boots she has as well gives them that extra bit of control in their armory. So I'm not sure why they don't play her, because I think she's good. She's a good decision maker. She knows when to carry and when to pass. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's an unfair question, but I know you've played against her, and we've all seen her in a Gloucester Hartbury shirt. She's been absolutely outstanding. And then Elle Snowsill, doing some great stuff on SC4. These Wales games are on SC4 from wXV. She speaks very well. She obviously retired now. So, well, here's the chance, and yet Robin Wilkins comes in, and I just he's a very nice, neat and tidy player. He's played some rugby at 15, played some rugby at 12, but no promotion relegation from WXV1. You're playing the best in the world. You're then sort of going into a Six Nations. It's just been a prime time to say, do you know what? Here's the keys to number 10 for 3 games. Let's go and see what you can do against the best in the world. And do you know what? If there is an issue there, which I have no idea, but then you could say, well, you haven't played so well against those, and therefore you sort of quantify yourself as a coach. But just give her the chance to go and do it, right? Rather than sort of 10, 15 minutes off the bench here and there.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think it'll be great to see her have a bit more game time in that Wales shirt, because she's been doing it great for a club. So hopefully she gets a chance to do it for country too.
Anyway, that was only a little mini rant. Off the back of that, well, let's have a full one. I simply don't know why these games are being played in Wellington at a ground called the Cake Tin. England, Australia. It looked awful.
Mm.
And commentary was great. Ricky Swannell, absolutely fabulous commentator and sort of smashing glass ceilings herself. But and the camera work and all the rest of it on WXV1 is great. But it just looks awful. You're telling me that the small little grounds around Wellington that they could have used. For the Black Ferns game, we're hearing 10,000. But again, it looks terrible because it's 50, 60 seater stadium. It is not rocket science. It really is not rocket science. Do you know what? Perhaps ask broadcasters, get them involved in conversations. You know, there was a leadership meeting this week at Twickenham of people talking about the growth of women's rugby and 2025 in the World Cup. I doubt there's any broadcasters in the room there. Certainly none with 20 years experience, 25, 30 years experience. Anyway, France beat the Black Ferns, Sadia.
Mm-hmm.
I
predicted.
She did predict it, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, she might not get up for an alarm clock, but she's got an excellent crystal ball. France were great, weren't they? They meant that.
Yeah, no. What a game! What a game to watch as a fan. But yeah, to come away with a score 17-18. Yeah, I mean, the score really speaks for itself, and I think that really did it encompasses what the game was as well. So
yeah, two top class sides, the first ever win against the Black Ferns. And yeah, there's been some change of personnel, certainly, and some retirees. But you felt they had that semi-final in their mind, didn't they? And we spoke about Caroline Drouet and her penalty kick could have won it in that semi-final. You know, this is what World Cup's about. It's tight margins, but this was tight as well. Where did France particularly get the edge?
I personally think they were really good all over the park, to be honest. But I'm biased, and I think their forwards really put them on the front foot. I think they always do, to be honest. But I think it gave them that extra foot in attack to be able to go wide, to be able to put kicks in. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. Power to the forwards.
Yeah, of course. That red card won't have helped the Black Ferns in any way, shape, or form. But they are absolutely deadly. We speak about a few new faces, but Gabriel Vernier, it's a nice way to take a try, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that is a try everyone wants on the highlight reel, isn't it? I'd be straight on Instagram accepting the collaboration. But Vernier, yeah, she's been on top form. So it's kind of no surprise when you see who it is popping up, collecting that try. So
that second try was a piece of absolute quality, wasn't it? Because it was nip and tuck, wasn't it? The Black Ferns came back, scored it 7-7, and then Escudero and Chambon, some excellent work from then, and then Banet out wide. That was a sumptuous try, wasn't it? Very, very, very French.
Very French, and I think everyone loves seeing those team tries. Yeah, it's great rugby to watch. And just a note on Escudero, I really love watching her play. I think she's definitely coming into him recently. She's quite new into the squad, but I think from the Six Nations and wXV now, she's really coming into her game, and I think she's someone to watch and keep an eye on, definitely.
Good note. I remember at the World Cup there were a few eyebrows raised because she was getting selected ahead of some more experienced back rowers. But yeah, what an incredible athlete she is. Yeah, a brilliant game, and fair play to you, France. Ruby Tui had her little say, didn't she? Nice little kick through for Vaakolo. She is a superstar. Hopefully she's going to be on the pod next week, Ruby Tui. But you just can't keep your eyes off the Black Ferns, can you? For the full 80, as England would know.
Yeah, as England would know firsthand. Yeah, but no, they are very, very exciting side to watch, and you can never take the foot off the gas with them, because they will bring something out of the bag. And like you say, Ruby Tui, players like that who will just break something out of nothing, or have something back in their mind and make it come to life. So yeah, very, very very exciting to watch, and obviously looking forward to 2 rounds now when England play New Zealand. I'm sure they will have that in the back of their heads.
Yeah, they'll be better, won't they? The Black Ferns come that time. And yeah, very, very cool at the end. France, not often something they've been complimented, but yeah, very, very cool. Just playing out the final few seconds to record their first ever win. And boy, didn't they enjoy it. And so they should. It was, yeah, becomes a mental block, doesn't it? If you've never beaten a side, but they have that off their back now.
Let's move on to WXV2 results from round 2 in Cape Town. On Friday, so Scotland beat USA 24-14. Italy beat South Africa 36-18. And Japan beat Samoa 32-10.
Another win for Scotland. They're
Yeah.
gathering a bit of a head of steam, aren't they, Scotland? And when it becomes a habit, that's an impressive performance because, again, a bit like Canada, on paper, USA are a very, very good side, and they tend to build. But that's a handsome victory for Brian Easton's players.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's great to see with Scotland because they have been having quite tough seasons with rugby. And, it's great to see the hard work paying off. And like I said last week, a lot of the Loughborough girls are in the Scotland team. So I always have a little bit of a cheer for them when they do come away with good results. But yeah, USA have really been building and going from strength to strength, and they are a good side, definitely. And when they come together, they're really strong. But Scotland, yeah, they're working out how to come away with these wins in tight games and how to overcome, these strong teams too. So yeah, good to see.
Some nice tries in there from Scotland.
Yeah, very nice. I'm trying to think what my favourite try was. I can't remember, but I do remember my obviously back row for back row. Evie Gallagher, her try saving tackle. I mean, obviously it was very, very close contact, but I was like, oh, I would love to do that. It was very, very impressive. And obviously she's not even the biggest player on the pitch, even though she plays number 8. She's quite small in height and stature, but obviously it doesn't make any difference.
No, indeed so. And Italy, with that victory over the host, as expected, sets up this sort of head-to-head now, doesn't it, for the WXV2 title. Italy improving week on week.
Italy's always a team that you can never underestimate. They are a very strong side, and they do have a lot of key players in their team, and they play such a fun style of rugby, and they do it really well. And as you can see, they're coming away with the results that they need to. But definitely, I think each week they are building. And South Africa is not a side to put in the back burner. They are a strong side too, and they have been going from strength to strength. So it's not as if Italy are playing easy opposition. They're playing good opposition and coming away with good scores. So.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a minute. South Africa take on Samoa this weekend, and that's a big old game. Japan got over against Samoa 32-10. That's Scotland's opponents this weekend. In WXV3 over in Dubai, Kazakhstan beat Kenya 18-12. Spain were victorious over Fiji 26-19. They're much fancied Fijian side. And on Saturday, Scott Beamond 2 from 2 for Scotty, 64-3 over Colombia. No results there unexpected, although I expect the Spain result sort of flies out at you against Fiji.
Yeah, definitely. I did say I thought Fiji were going to come away with the win there. So yeah, plain.
Fair play to Spain. Let's get you up to date with the rest of the news from around the overworld.
I'm Sarah Hiddenate, and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
Not much news. All the attention focused on WXV, and well, of course, because it's a global tournament, and most people are involved, certainly from every continent around the world, which is all but one continent around the world. Latvia made their Test debut on Sunday. Who knew? The 71st country to play Test rugby. Thank you, John Birch, for the stats, as ever. You are a legend. The Latvians took on Finland in Helsinki. So congratulations to Latvia.
Sad news that there will be no European trophy this season, and news you gathered from the Finnish Rugby Federation website. Rugby Europe citing the challenging financial climate. This rather leaves Finland, Germany, Czechia, and Belgium in the lurch. The top level comp, the European Championship, with newly promoted Portugal joining Spain, Netherlands, and Sweden. So we're kind of going backwards at this point.
Yeah, I don't understand. I really don't understand. I know Rugby Europe do what they can around the game, but that's quite simply just a sign of things going backwards. Removing tournaments, it's just not the way it should be. And yeah, from my personal opinion, that's the kind of thing that World Rugby should come in with a stopgap and get that tournament up and running. But there you are. Slightly sad news.
So a huge weekend coming up with wXV. Let's start with wXV 1 fixtures. Coming up on Friday, England play Canada in Dunedin, 7 a.m. English time on ITVX. On Saturday, 4 o'clock in the morning English time, New Zealand play Wales on ITVX2. And finally, France play Australia at 7 o'clock, and that will be on Rugby Pass TV.
Number one, we know that you definitely won't be getting up for New Zealand against Wales at 4 a.m. if you can't get up at 7 a.m. for England against Canada. Let's deal with the England-Canada first, Sadia. Third time they played, sort of 4 or 5 weeks. Where do you think that Canada could get the edge?
I mean, yeah, obviously it's the first time we're playing them now in a very close time frame, so they have definitely done a lot of analysis on us. I think where they probably could get us is definitely around not to point it out again, but our defensive strategies at the moment. I think England have a really, really strong defense. But I think our attack right now is our strength. So if teams do want to come for us, they can pick and chew around that. So I think, if Canada are able to pick off where our weaknesses are there, and if we don't come into that game tightening up those weaknesses, they'll be able to get a lot more go forward and get on top. I think the thing with Canada and us is that we don't allow them to get into the game so quickly. So if they find a way to be able to do that, I think that's where it can become a bit more tricky for England.
Yeah, not many changes for Canada. Both teams are announced. And yeah, it's a brutal pack on paper. Hunt, Satosi, Menin, Bukuim, Holtkamp, Senft, Svoboda, and De Goede. And then you look at that back line, it isn't as strong as that 4 pack, is it, for Canada? Farriers on the wing is always a live wire. Tessier in the midfield as well. Claire Gallagher at 10. What have you made of England's selection? Again, some changes. My eye was particularly drawn to that centre partnership. Helena Rowland has gone at 13, Amber Reid at 12. What, the Red Roses just trying stuff out again?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of changes in the squad. I think going into the next 2 games, we probably will be trying to have as least movement as possible. So I can only say, I mean, I'm not out there, but I can only say these are the combinations that have been working in training, and obviously the coaches have an idea of, who's best coming off the bench, who's best making an impact. So yeah, obviously with Helena at 13, Amber Reid at 12, I think those two could work really well together. Obviously Helena's, naturally a 13 who likes to move a lot, who likes to actually get into the game. Even though she's good at distribution, she's great at running as well. Whereas Amber Reid is a really calm head. She knows when to pass, she's got a great pass on her, and she also is great when she's taken into contact. But I think those two can work really well together because Hell has that bit of flair and in attack, but I think Rita has great vision. So I think those two going together will be a really good pair. I mean, it's very different from Meg Jones and Tatiana Hurd, but I think it'll be good to see how that works. Obviously, just trusting in the coach's selection. Obviously, Ellie Cludan back into 15, which moved Helena back down to 13. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that back line goes.
Yeah, indeed so. And yeah, we heard in the last week or so, Emily Scatz had some neck surgery, and we wish her all the best. So yeah, that 13 chit is kind of redundant at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's England trying to play. You touched on it there. You're trying to play in a slightly different way. Tatiana Hurd and Meg Jones are going to play differently to Amber Reid, who's more of a second fly half, is a second distributor that they put down in New Zealand, a second 5'8", whereas Tatiana Hurd, not in any way, shape or form, am I saying she's just a go forward 12. There's a lot more to her game than that. But when you were around that camp before you got your injury, was that spoken about, being able to tighten things up, be physical if you needed to, and then have the playing distribution? Was a plan A and a plan B?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of our training and our new attacking shape is about having multiple options and being able to go through first and punch through first before going wide, and if it is one wide, to go wide too. But having a second distributor will allow us to be able to go quickly, or will allow us to be able to use those forwards who are popping up in midfield or on the edge, but then also allowing it to get to our speedsters on the edge, obviously with Abby Dow and Claudia playing on the wing. They're two key players who want to get involved. So having those two in the centres, I think will allow us to open up a lot more of our go forward game.
New Zealand, Wales, rather like France, and they met twice in the World Cup, didn't they? Wales have never beaten New Zealand, and I can't see a different result, especially after the loss last week, right?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, two tough games for Wales. I don't think they thought obviously Canada would be as tough as it was, but yeah, going into this weekend, New Zealand are going to be obviously seeking a bit of vengeance after having a loss on the weekend, so they're going to be putting everything they can into this game. And obviously Wales coming off the back of a loss as well. I'm not sure how that's going to affect them going into another tough game. So yeah, like you said, I can't see them coming away with the win, but I hope they put out a good performance and a good fight, so it is a nice tight game of rugby.
Yeah, a couple of blowouts really in the World Cup. That's why I fancy New Zealand for the men's final, because they're embarrassed at Twickenham against South Africa, and New Zealanders hold these things very close to their heart, and if they have an opportunity to reap some revenge, they relish in that, don't they? Enough of us chuntering on. Let's get into that Wales camp now. It is a great pleasure to welcome Kelsey Jones, Gloucester Heartbreak and Wales hooker onto the pod. Smiling as ever, Kelsey. How are you? How's WXV treating you?
Yeah, do you know what? I am very well, thank you. And New Zealand has been awesome so far, so no complaints from this side of the world.
Good to be back. How is it second time round within a year?
It's a little bit better, like not better, but different places. You can see in different venues and things. So obviously we were only in Auckland and up in
you're Wellington, Dunedin, aren't you, this time, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so we're down in the South Island now. We have been in Wellington, which is south of the North Island, and then we're down in Dunedin now. So it's kind of nice, actually, a little bit different scenery and things. So changing up a little bit, new coffee shops, but you guessed it, still coffee shops. But it's been lovely.
Also, have you been to the ground at Dunedin yet?
Yes, we have. Yeah, so we're actually training in a little gym around the side of the pitch. So we've been lucky enough to do our meetings and things there. So we had a little look around today as well on the pitch and had a little feel for it. And very wide, very big pitch, so that should be exciting.
Yeah, it certainly is. It looks like a giant glass house, isn't it? Greenhouse.
Literally.
Never played in one of those before, I'm sure.
As a hooker, though, I can't complain because hopefully, if it's raining, I don't have to deal with the wet balls at least. So I'll take that as a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And the squad feel and dynamic. Does it feel different? Does it feel like there's an extra buzz? Like, I appreciate last time in New Zealand it was a World Cup, but this is a new tournament, and us media heads going mad for it and all the rest of it. But is it hitting home to you? You know, in the trenches there, it's a new competition. It's global. Are you looking at results from other areas of WXV?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit surreal. The first time we heard about it, obviously, was the beginning of last year, like building into the World Cup and things. And, you know, we were all excited to come to New Zealand at that point. And then all of a sudden, we're back in New Zealand in this tournament already. And I feel like, oh my gosh, I only heard about it the other day. So I think it's still a little bit surreal. Like, we're actually here, we're in this new tournament. And how amazing, obviously, what we went through in the Six Nations and things, and put our hands up to be in the top tier. I mean, yeah, no complaints whatsoever. And it's just super exciting. You know, we speak a lot about wanting to be better as a team, you know, becoming professional and things as well, trying to push on, trying to close that gap and reach the top teams. And, you know, we're really wanting to compete within this top six. So we're exactly where we want to be. Yeah, and each week we just keep getting better and better. Like you say, there is that little buzz around the team. Like, we're here, we're competing. And ultimately, that's who we want to be competing against, you know, as much as we can. So the more we play the Black Ferns, the more we play England, the more we play your Australians, it's only going to make us better as a team as well. So the fact that we're able to play across the border and play Canada, Australia and New Zealand is just super exciting. And, you know, we've already had our first match now, looking to right some wrongs this week against New Zealand. And then who knows what can happen for the last game as well. So yeah, it's really, really exciting.
Good stuff. Let's get into, just touch on that Canada game. A pretty heavy scoreline in the end to Canada. What have been the takeaways?
It's a shame that the score, I don't think, reflects how we actually played. I think we competed, especially that first half. And, you know, girls put their hands up, they put their body on the line. You know, we knew it was going to be a physical match. It always is when we face Canada. It was just a shame that I think, you know, it's no hidden factor that our discipline just let us down. You know, when you have multiple penalties against you on the bounce, like, something needs to change. And sadly, we weren't able to do that. But I think that's definitely something we'll be looking to improve this week. And yeah, I think that was probably the factor that allowed them to get down the pitch and score the points, the best they know how. So we'll definitely be looking into that this week and correcting that against the Black Ferns.
And because how do you work on that? You know, boys and girls teams maybe listening to this. How do you work on getting your discipline better?
I think it comes from everything you do every single day. I think we let it get away from us that game. However, we live by our core values, and one of them, you know, is like honesty and respect and things like that. And it comes down to respecting the respecting the rules. And, you know, every ref is different as well. They play different, and sometimes you have to play to the ref. And she or he might be seeing things that you might not. But ultimately, if they're telling you and talking to you, what they want you to do is that discipline to then be able to listen to it and react quickly so that you don't give away penalties. But yeah, just live and breathe by it, really. And it comes down to a mindset. You've got to want to be better. You've got to want to make that change. You've got to want to change your attitude or whatever you're doing. So that's, you know, something we've applied ourselves in this week, ready to take on the Black Ferns, because we know it's going to be a tough match.
Let's get into the Black Ferns. A side you know pretty well from your last visit to New Zealand, hit them twice in the World Cup. So there's plenty of data there. There's plenty of video analysis being done. What have you picked out, without giving game plan away, obviously, because millions of Black Ferns followers listen to this, I'm sure. But without giving the game plan away, what have you seen in the Black Ferns game, possibly last week and their last couple of games that they played, that you may be able to put pressure on them?
Yeah, well, we know they're a physical pack. They like to suck in players. They like to, you know, create that space for the likes of Ruby Tui and people to have that space on the wings. So ultimately, like, our defense is going to be key for us this weekend. We're not going to allow them to suck us in a little bit. You know, we're going to be really physical up front and things. So it's taken their game to them really, but also like doing what we want to do best. And that like our defense, I think, is one of the best. And I think we pride ourselves on that as a team. And when we get the ball, we're looking to attack more now. Like, being professional, we're able to impact that more, I think, on the pitch. So definitely, like, they like to like go up front, hard carries. You know, they do a lot of pick and goes, loads of different things. They change it up. They hit quite wide then and like to put it out the back. So I think our connections between forwards and backs this week is going to be pretty important, and that's something we've really worked on this week in training. So the connections, just so when they do, if they want to hit wide, we can pressure their skill set. But like you said, like, one of the games, our most recent games, is the game against France, and France ended up getting a win on that game. So, you know, it's proven to us, it's given us that extra boost to be like, they're beatable. They are absolutely beatable. And that's the beauty of rugby. It all comes down to one day. You know, you never know how people are going to turn up on the day. So super excited for that opportunity to take it to them. You know, we're looking to get off the line. We're looking to pressure their skill set, make them pass them big balls if that's what they want to do. And if they get outside us, then that's great rugby. But we really want to try and pressure their skill set and, you know, put pressure on them. And then when we get the opportunities, take them.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be very accurate. You won't get many opportunities. It's interesting because that was going to be my next question. The fact that they lost to France last week. New Zealand teams don't often lose, you know, back to back. I just, you know, they will be wounded from that. But you're taking that as a real positive. You know, almost they are human. They're very beatable. It's a good way of approaching it. There's a few changes in the ranks. One that catches my eyes is Kate George.
So that's good. It's a good effort, Flaky George.
Thank you. I tried to promise. Rachel Taylor taught me that one. Thank you, Ratty.
Yeah, nice.
He's a ledge. At 10, and a lot of us in the media have been calling for that for quite some time. Obviously, you play with her at club. What's she going to bring to your effort against New Zealand?
I think, you know, she has got some great skill sets on her. She puts us in places we want to be. You know, she's happy to sometimes like try something that maybe might not be what's the word?
Prescripted.
Yes, then like she's very good at playing what's in front of her, and I think as players, it's been, you know, a bit of a fresh air to be like, we don't have to be structured all the time. Actually, we have the opportunity to play here. This is what's in front of us. And she's willing to take that risk. And sometimes it is high risk, high reward. But that's what the best teams are doing these days. You know, we're trying things. We want to be trying new things, especially against the top teams in the world. And I really think Slakey will be able to bring that to our game. She's an outstanding player. For her age as well, still a youngster coming up through the ranks. You know, when she's enjoying her rugby, when she's on form, when she's really just expressing herself as a player, we'll see her play her best rugby. And I think, you know, we'll definitely be seeing that in a Welsh shirt soon as well, just like she's been doing for Gloucester. So very excited to be playing alongside her in the Welsh shirt again. Just
one other player I wanted to ask you, the other end, possibly the experience and age spectrum. Look, you're guaranteed at least 5/7 points because Sinead Harris is playing and she always scores tries against the All Blacks.
Absolutely. She'll probably have a spin in there somewhere, turning round and breaking through the line. Of course she will. Yeah, she's a great one to have on the pitch.
She's pumped for New Zealand, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all are. We definitely all are. You know, we're all in the right mindset. We're all ready to take them on. Ultimately, I keep saying it, you know, we want to be playing these people all the time. We want to be playing the best in the world. And we know we play better when we play better teams. You know, you look back to in the Six Nations against England, we compete for the 30, 40 minutes. And that's something we've worked on now, is to compete for the full 80 minutes. And I think as a team, we've really, really focused on that to take it to the best teams. And yeah, we're ready. Super excited. You know, it's a great opportunity. It's another reflection to see where we are as a team. They're going to be hurt after France, but we're also hurt against Canada because we know we can be better. So it's anyone's game this weekend. It depends, like I say, the beauty of rugby, who turns up on the day and who's ready to put their mindset in it and put your head in places you don't want to put it.
Last one, Kelsey. Conscious you've got to get your beauty sleep. Not that you need it. Oh, I always get myself in trouble with.
Oh, don't be digging that hole.
You mentioned a phrase earlier on about closing the gap. Is that the overall aim of this first WXV one for you? What was the goal? If I can, I mean, I don't want to go behind the curtain, but what was the overall goal?
Well, I think we've already started achieving some things that we wanted to, starting with the Six Nations. So obviously, we also want to grow gaps as well. So we're chasing the top teams, but we also want to grow the gap between the bottom teams as well, and show that professionalism is really working for us, and which it is, as you see the performances that we're putting out now. We still got a way to go. But I definitely think, especially for me personally, like if we close that gap, we're going to be on their heels a lot more. With the professionalism side of it, we are able to do that. We get the right recovery, we get the right training that we need. We have a lot more professionals around us that allow us to, utilize everything that we need to be able to do that. So I think we've started ticking some boxes. We're trying to grow the gap on people like Ireland, on teams like Scotland, Italy as well in the Six Nations. We had a great outcome against them, and we want to keep on pushing. But knowing that we're growing that gap, we're also trying to close it on those top teams as well. So, I mean, it's exciting. It's a new tournament. And the best part about it is that we get to play the best in the world. And I think our mindset is we're in this top six because we deserve to be here. We earned our place here. We want to keep growing up that ranks now, 5th, 4th, 3rd, competing with the top 2. Who knows what can happen? But that's definitely where we want to be. And we don't want to be dropping any lower.
Kelsey, absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for chatting to us. I'd literally rolled out of bed and you give me a huge amount of energy to crash into the day. So thanks so much. Go well. Enjoy the next couple of games and get yourself off to bed. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to see you.
I'm Kira Bevan and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
We go for an England win and a New Zealand win?
Yeah.
Thus far? Crystal ball's working well. Okay. And France, Australia. Now, here's the other side of it. Can France, traditionally quite an emotional side, although I think in the last 12, 18 months, that's sort of moving away from them. Can they get themselves back up for Australia?
It'll be very interesting to see how they do turn around in the week. I think, obviously, Australia, they're not on top of their game at the moment, but like we saw against England, they do have moments of brilliance and moments where they can break the line. So I think if France aren't able to emotionally kind of put that on the back burner going into this game, there could be a few upsets from Australia. So I think, it'll be interesting how they do deal with it, but they'll definitely need to, if they want to put their best foot forward going into this game.
You're saying a France win?
Saying a France win, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tight, though. I really do. We don't know selections for those for New Zealand, Wales, and the France-Australia game. Not out yet. We're recording Wednesday morning. So it'll be interesting. And I've not seen anything about Dallinger's injury at the moment, but that would be a significant loss. She is. Go back to Kate George again. She'd be given the keys to number 10 and by Jay Tregenning and said, go and make this shirt and your own and go and run the team. I think that's going to be tight. So England Canada 7 a.m. Friday ITVX, Saturday 4 a.m. Sadia's definitely be up for that one on ITV.
Definitely.
France Australia 7 a.m. on Saturday, Rugby Pass TV. Those are UK times. Into WXV2, which is incredibly exciting. It really is kind of all to play for across the board. Every game has something on it. Friday sees Scotland take on Japan at 1 p.m. Later on at 3:30. Again, UK times, BST for these. The host, South Africa, plays Samoa. And on Saturday, USA face Italy. What a mouth-watering contest that is. All of those on Rugby Pass TV. Scotland and Italy for the title. And that's massive, isn't it? Okay, they're not going to get promoted to WXV1, but actually to tangibly win a title, you don't get many chances in a career to do that. That's huge.
Yeah. It's definitely will be huge, and for both Scotland and Italy, those will be huge titles individually if they're able to win them. So there's going to be a lot of emotion going into that game. But I also think they're two sides who are, you know, peaking or getting to a really good point of strength at the moment. So it should be a really, really good battle.
Italy have a slight advantage because they'll know what they need to do. Obviously, playing a day later. Scotland up against Japan, 11th ranked. You would suspect that would be a fairly comfortable win for Scotland.
Kind of similar, obviously WX3, but with Ireland as well, going into games where you're not necessarily against the highest opposition, but you still want to put out your best performance. So I think for them, after having two quite tough games going into this, it's important they don't let their guard down and still put out their best game of rugby.
Yeah, both on 10 match points from 2 bonus point victories. Italy's points difference at the moment is plus 31, Scotland's plus 24. That can't come into the mind too early, can it, for Scotland? Go win the game and see what happens come the washout.
I mean, if they focus on that too much, it might take away their focus from the actual game at hand. So, like you said, just about winning the game first.
Italy, USA, oh, what a game that is going to be. They met at the World Cup, didn't they? 22-10, Italy came out winners of that one. Just feel USA kind of run out of steam by that point. Where do you see that one going?
I don't know. I need to look into my crystal ball quickly. I don't know at the moment because I think, like I said, they've both been building really well to this point. Obviously, USA came off the back of a loss from the weekend, but I still think they're going really well, and I think they're a team whose energy doesn't really drop, especially not in a three fixture or small fixture tournament as well. So it'll be very interesting. Obviously, Italy coming in from a win, obviously helping them with that morale and going into the weekend. So right now, I don't think I can call who is gonna win that one, which I think makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, certainly does. I just think USA have got a performance in them. You know, they beat Samoa round 1, and they also went down to Scotland and Italy, Japan round 1, 28-15 in that one, and then obviously victorious last weekend against Samoa. USA would be more battle hardened. I'm going to put my neck out here. I'm going to go. Oh, how can I go against Beatrice Rigoni? I'm going USA. Go Kate Zackary. You?
I'm going to go USA for my love for girls.
Yay! There we go. We agree. That final game in WXV2, South Africa against Samoa. They battled it out to stay in WXV2. Samoa 1 point ahead in the table, so a draw would see them safe. Yeah, they got 1 point, both on minus 32 in terms of points difference. Huge game for both.
I'm very excited for this game. I think it's going to be a battle of pure physicality. Samoa and South Africa, they are teams who have huge physical strength, both on their journeys within rugby and the rugby game and knowledge of the game. But what they lack in that, they make up in energy and physicality all over the pitch. And I think it'll definitely be a game of a lot of emotions as well. So, really excited to see how that pans out. I do think South Africa are going to pip it.
And I'm just trying to find here because Sadia Kabeya attended an independent. She's the South African number 8 and just chews up defenders and the meters of the ground just exceptionally well. She big loss to them. Independent disciplinary committee hearing prevents contrary to law 9.13 dangerous tackle on the accepted a red card as suspended for 2 matches, so she's out.
Wow.
Does that change our prediction? I knew there was something in the back of my mind. I knew there was disciplinary hearing. So sorry to read that out, everyone. But yeah, that's an important loss for them.
yeah, that is a huge loss for them. I mean, she is yeah a absolute force to be reckoned with. I think she gets them on the front foot every single carry she does, and I think defenders fear her a lot. So for that to be taken away from South Africa from their attacking point of view, but also as a person out of the Samoans' heads as well, I think it's a huge loss. Yeah, I for one, I'm terrified for when she comes to the Prem. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Is what I'm telling myself.
There you are. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that tackle. You sticking with South Africa for the win, though?
I'm still gonna sit with them. Yeah. Let's have a look at WXV free fixtures this weekend. Kazakhstan back in action on Friday, 2 p.m. as they face Fiji. At 4:30, Kenya and Colombia go head to head, and the final game, Ireland v Spain, is on Saturday, 5 p.m.
Ireland are gonna take this, aren't they?
Yeah, I have my money on Ireland. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's not. I would bet a lot of money on it.
Yeah, me too. If I had some. So, but again, it's a chance for Spain to play against one of the bigger nations. It's all good experience. Straight shootout for the WXV3 title and promotion. 173 points in the first two games for Ireland, and of course you will remember that Spain were part of Ireland not qualifying for the World Cup, so there's that little bit of revenge in there. And you may be scoring 173 points in the first two games, but you can only play what's in front of you. And Ireland have been reasonably impressive thus far.
Yeah, definitely. They've been going into each game, I think, with the mindset of it's not just about the win; it's about how they play, how many games they can get on the board, how many points they can get on the board, and I think that's been showing for them. And obviously, they've had a really tough couple of seasons, coming away with minimal wins. I don't know if they came away with any wins over the past seasons, but this fixture, I think it's been a big confidence boost for them to come away with the wins they have and the scores that they have had as well. So yeah, like you said, you can only play what's in front of you, and I think they've been doing that.
They needed to get back on the horse and turn a fresh page and a new coach and what have you, and to get some W's going, just to build that confidence. We know that individually they've got some incredible talent. So we're saying Ireland for that one. Although Spain will be buoyed by that victory against Fiji, but we still think Ireland to take the W there, do we?
Yeah, definitely.
100%. Huge game between Kenya and Colombia as well. Relegation concerns for them. Colombia beat them in the World Cup qualifier in Nairobi last year, but this will be a really close game. That bottom team will then play a playoff against the Netherlands. And it could see Africa lose its place in WXV or one of its places, I should say, or South America lose its only place. Of course, you've got to play that relegation game, but that's a lot of pressure. You know, this big new tournament, shiny new tournament with a few dents in it, a few chip bits of paint, but we'll get to polishing those off soon. But to be a part of this is exactly what these players want, and therefore there's a huge amount of pressure on Kenya and Colombia.
I, for one, would not like to be in their shoes. There's so much pressure riding on it. Like you said, WXV coming in this year has been, a huge boost for women's rugby, and for these teams as well coming in who don't get to play these world tournaments or play much rugby each year. There's even more riding on it for them. So yeah, those games will be really important for them, and obviously for the Netherlands, who are also a very strong team they are a strong team as well. Obviously, they haven't going to make it in this year, but whoever loses to go against them is also a worry as well. So yeah, a lot riding on it.
I'm going Kenya for the win, and I'm going Ireland, Fiji, Kenya for wins. You?
yeah, I'm going to go with Ireland, Fiji, and Kenya as well. We're on the same page.
Oh, so what a lovely way to round things off with us in total and utter agreement.
In harmony.
Utter harmony. Dogs jumping around all over the place, alarm clocks going off. Reminds me of that opening scene of Four Weddings and a Funeral You at the weekend, trying to get up for WXV games. Alarm clocks everywhere.
Oh, God.
It's been great fun again. Next week, we're going to hear from the Scotland camp. Going to hear from the Black Ferns camp as well, hopefully amongst others. The time difference is proving a little bit tricky with some of the teams and actually just some communication issues. But hey-ho, we've got your thoughts, which is absolutely fantastic. As ever, big thank you to Tom and Vicky doing all the bits and pieces in the background. A big thank you to you, Sadia Kabeya. What's your weekend hold apart from watching a bit of ruggers on catch-up?
I'm actually going down or up, I don't know. I'm going to Bath to see my friends over the weekend, so we'll be watching the final games up there, which I think will be great to get in a Bath pub to watch the rugby. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah.
I mean, not that I'm paid to say this and have no connection or whatever, but if you find a pub called the Salamander, get yourself in there. A really great old pub. Wood everywhere you can see, some great beers and stuff as well. So Bath, how lovely for the weekend, how absolutely delightful. Sadia, great stuff. We'll see you next week. Enjoy WXV. We'll see you then.